So, I think it's safe to say that 2023 is going to be absolutely jam-packed full of amazing open world games, half of which were originally supposed to be released last year, which of course wasn't ideal at the time, but then it does mean that we're all going to get them in the same year now. However, of course, some of these games may be further delayed until 2024, but let's hope that doesn't happen. So, this list contains a list of games that have certainly interested me for some time, and I'll likely be featuring some of them in my channel in the future. And for the purpose of this video, this list contains games which either have a confirmed release date or a release window which is in 2023. And if you think there are more major open world games that I've missed off this list that are due for release this year, why don't you leave a comment below? So at 12 we have The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's much anticipated upcoming sequel, which goes by the name of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It is due to take place in Hyrule, which players will be familiar with already, so it will be interesting to see how the world is built upon from its predecessor. And it also looks like Link will be able to explore some brand new areas, including the lands above Hyrule, making the open world even bigger, and hopefully full of more content for returning players. And assuming all goes well with finishing touches of development, Tears of the Kingdom is due to be released on the 12th of May 2023, so it's only just around the corner. At number 11 we have a AAA game which has already been released this year, and that is Forspoken. The game sees you play as Frey Holland, who is a young woman who has been transported from the vast metropolis of New York City to the fantasy world of Athea, where she is able to use magical powers to journey through this brand new world in order to try and get herself home. Forspoken has been getting a wide variety of review scores, so it's definitely worth picking up when the game lowers in price and trying out for yourself. I know I'll certainly be doing this in the future. At 10 is a follow-up to the highly regarded survival game Ark Survival Evolved, aptly named, at least for now of course, Ark 2. The original was well received, and it appears that Ark 2 intends to expand on that by making the open world even bigger and adding Vin Diesel into the mix, because who doesn't want Vin Diesel in a survival game where you could be attacked by all sorts of weird and wonderful prehistoric creatures? This game will also be built using Unreal Engine 5, giving it top-of-the-range graphics and performance. There is also no official release date yet as of the creation of this video, but it is due to release in 2023, so keep an eye out for any future updates. Next up at 9 is Dead Island 2. Now this is a game fans of the original, myself included, have been waiting for ages. It's literally been 12 years since the first one released, and it has had numerous development issues over the years which has caused it to be delayed multiple times, but finally, it looks like it will be released at the end of April this year. Dead Island 2 is going to take place to Los Angeles, where the zombie apocalypse continues on, and will either be working alone or with friends to try and survive endless amounts of the undead. You'll be able to use all sorts of items as weapons to wipe out these pesky zombies, including the environment as well, so let's hope the game lives up to its predecessor, because that was a damn good game. At 8, let's talk about Skull and Bones. This is a game that was initially unveiled 6 years ago, way back in 2017. I can't believe that's 6 years ago, by the way, but it has been plagued with delays since then. But as of the creation of this video, the rumours point to a release date sometime in 2023 for PC and consoles. And the game will involve us taking to the seas with our crew to battle with unsuspecting ships, plundering towns and villages, and of course, seeking out treasure. There will be a lot of naval combat involved in this game, as of course you'd expect with a pirate game, and players will be able to customise their pirate ship and set sail within the Indian Ocean. Even wind positioning needs to be utilised in battles to gain yourself an advantage, and players can create an armada of ships with weapons ranging from your standard cannons to mortars and even rockets. Sounds great, right? So let's hope this game doesn't get further delayed so we can play it later on this year. At number 7, we've got another DC game for the developers of Rocksteady Studios, who bought us the Arkham trilogy, which were truly amazing games by the way, and that is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. This time round we've switched to Cape Crusader for a bunch of supervillains where you play as either Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Captain Boomerang or King Shark. And it seems like they have one thing on their agenda: killing the members of the Justice League, who have supposedly been brain controlled by Starro. Cityscapes in this open world look amazing, and you'll be traversing the entire thing if you want to be able to take down the Justice League. Well, at least try to take them down anyway. And given Rocksteady's impressive games in the DC universe thus far, this one is certainly not one to be missed when it finally lands in 2023. Hopefully. At 6, we've got a first venture in the video game side of things for Avatar with Avatar: The Frontiers of Pandora. It is being developed by Massive Entertainment and published by Ubisoft, and it will allow players to play as their own Na'vi, and it will give us the opportunity to explore the western continent on Pandora, which so far is an area we've not currently seen from the films. We'll get to explore a living world inhabited by unique creatures, new characters, and we'll have to push back those pesky RDA forces that threaten it all. And best thing yet, it has been developed exclusively for the latest generation consoles and PCs, so it's sure to be a rich and most likely incredibly stunning open world game with plenty of things to do. So it's definitely one to give it a go when it hopefully gets released later on this year. And I'm sure you've heard plenty about number 5, especially as it's just been released, and that is Hogwarts Legacy. This is a game that the fans of the Harry Potter universe have been dying to play for years. We've had many Harry Potter video games in the past, mainly based on the movies or a LEGO adaptation, which was very good by the way, but never something to the scale of Hogwarts Legacy. There is going to be a full-size, fully explorable Hogwarts castle along with the vast areas surrounding it, Hogsmeade with what appears to be so much to do. You'll encounter all sorts of magical creatures and beings, both good and bad, and the initial reviews seem to be rather positive. There is, however, a lot of controversy surrounding the game, mainly because J.K. Rowling has seemingly become the face of the anti-trans movement over the last few years, so people are boycotting the game because of that, as she will get money from each copy of the game that is sold. I'm not going to get into the politics of that in this video, so I'll just end with this. If you want to play Hogwarts Legacy, play it. It really looks like it's going to be an amazing game. And if you want to boycott it because of J.K. Rowling's views, then I fully respect your decision with that as well. Next up at 4 is probably the most ambitious open world game, or should I say open worlds, in this list, and that is Bethesda's Starfield. There has been talk of Starfield for years and it has been delayed multiple times, but nonetheless it is still the first new universe from Bethesda in about 25 years, and of course, we know they're responsible for creating the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout games, so expect something massive. In fact, incredibly massive from this one. It is said to allow players to fully explore 1,000 planets, which sounds like a truckload, but in comparison to the likes of No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous, it is minuscule, though you'll hope that these 1,000 planets will be filled with far many more things to do than the planets in No Man's Sky. You can also greatly customize starships as well as your loadout, and it will give us players a chance to play in either first or third person mode. The game will be releasing exclusively on PC and Xbox systems, so if you're a PlayStation only player, I'd probably get yourself an Xbox Series S on the cheap to play this one. I know I'll be doing exactly that because it's one that's not worth missing. And at 3 we have a game which I've featured on this channel a few times in the past, and that is Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the upcoming sequel to the highly rated Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. The game was recently delayed 6 weeks until the end of April so the development team could iron out a few gameplay and performance bugs, and you know what? That's fine. No one really wants a buggy mess being released, do they? Anyway, this game's going to take place 5 years after the events of Jedi Fallen Order, and it follows Cal Kestis once again, who is now a Jedi Knight. It appears the dark times are closing in, and it also appears that Cal will need to battle enemies both new and old and decide how far he's willing to go to save those closest to him. From the gameplay trailer and the gameplay that IGN released, it looks like Respawn have built upon the combat system they used in Fallen Order, as well as taking us to a brand new, even larger open worlds. So if it's as good as its predecessor, then we're all in for a treat with this one. Coming in at number 2, we have another sequel, and this time it's New York's favourite superhero, Spiderman. Now, little has been revealed from Spider-Man 2 since its cinematic trailer released back in 2021, which shows Peter and Miles battling some foes before a familiar face appears from the shadows, and that is, of course, Venom. Now, there was also a narrator during the cinematic teaser, and people seem to believe that it is the voice of Kraven the Hunter. Now, that's not confirmed, but it could be that he's the main villain in the new game. It looks like Spider-Man 2 could be a scarier, darker Spider-Man game compared to the first one and the spin-off Miles Morales. And there has also been teasers in both of those games of villains that we could also see in the new game, notably the Lizard and the Green Goblin, as both Kurt Connors and Norman Osborn appear in cutscenes. Safe to say this will be one of the biggest games of the year when it launches, hopefully just before the holidays later on in 2023. Finally, at number 1, we have Assassin's Creed Mirage. Now, this looks like it's going to go back to the game's roots, which focuses more on stealth and assassinations, rather than the big, sprawling open worlds that have taken over the game series in recent years. I mean, just look at how big and overly long Assassin's Creed Valhalla was. For me personally, this is a win going back to its roots because in my opinion, the original games, especially the Ezio trilogy, are the best in the entire series. Now, don't get me wrong, the new ones are good, but it's more like an RPG in the Assassin's Creed universe than a proper Assassin's Creed game. So, Assassin's Creed Mirage will see you play as Basim, who we saw in Valhalla, and it will take place in Baghdad, which is divided into 4 districts, but it is also going to feature Alamat, which is a fortress headquarters of the Hidden Ones, later to become the Assassins. I would expect the map to be a similar size to the ones we saw in Unity and Syndicate, and hopefully it's going to bring back the parkour from Unity, because I think that's when the parkour peaked in the Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Mirage is due for release later in 2023, and I think, assuming it lives up to the original Assassin's Creed games, will be one that both old and new Assassin's Creed players are going to enjoy a lot. And that, folks, is a list of 12 major open world games coming to consoles and PC in 2023 that you should definitely check out. If there are any other games that you think should be in this list, why not leave a comment below? And if you're still here, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.